Hey friends, coming to you from my backyard. This is the patio, and the reason I have all these ferns is because Lowe's marked them down. They were originally about $16 and Lowe's marked them down to $3, and they were still in the plastic, hadn't even been unfluffed or fluffed, uncompacted, had not even been. And so I got 4 of them, knowing that my sweet little friend Sierra, that's getting married in about exactly 1 week, that she could borrow these. She's already come through my house and we've made a tour and taken pictures of all the things that she wants to use as decor for her reception. And I think that she will be excited when she finds out that I got 4 fresh ferns for her to use. So right now they're just back here adding to the ambiance of my backyard. Now this is back here by our fire pit, and I have gathered all my thrift haul things from over a week's worth of stuff. So this might be a longer thrift haul. For the faint of heart, you do not have to remain for the whole thing. But as always, there'll be the Happy Doggy Spotlight somewhere in this video. So what you can't see is just off camera is my little vintage pop-up camper that we've got it partially set up. I'm going to get my granddaughters to come and spend the night with me. And maybe tonight, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow night, I don't know. But we're going to spend the night because the weather is so perfect in Alabama right now. High of 72, lows in the high 40s. That's perfect weather. And since we hardly camped this year, I needed to see about my camper anyway. You know, I needed to, we camped one time this summer and then assumed we would be camping more, but we just never did. Ben's had a knee replacement, and we just had a lot going on, new baby being born. So that kind of carved us down a little bit on our time. But what I've got here to share with all of you, by the way, I'm Marla. Thank you. I've got so many new subscribers. Let me just tell you, I'm in North Alabama, Albertville, Alabama, and I'm sure you could tell by my southern drawl that I'm somewhere in the south, but here I am in Albertville, Sand Mountain. We love it here. Ben's family grew up here, and I grew up about half an hour away. So Ben and I met in college, but you don't need to know all that. You don't have to know all that, but that's just a FYI, just free, bonus information. But what I've done here is gathered up what I have found at a couple of thrift stores. Then Ben's brother Daryl has built a new house, and they had several pieces of furniture and just old rusty things that they weren't interested in, that is right up my alley, that I gladly came and picked up. So some stuff from Daryl. And then a lovely friend of mine that I've had forevermore had, well, she was doing a garage clean out, and she posted some pictures on Facebook, and I immediately claimed one of her items that I had been looking for so long. And so I've got that. And of course, when I got to Brenda's house, I also saw about 20 other things that I wanted, because she also is an antique lover and an adventurer and a traveler, and she has found lots of lovely things through her travels. And pretty funny about one of the items that I'll be telling you. Okay, so diving right in, a set of 7 pheasant and quail glasses. These are so precious. These are so precious. These were 50 cents a piece. So 50 times 7, is that 350? Okay, I might can do some math. All right. And the thrift stores are just all mixed up because I waited so long to do this thrift haul that I don't even know what came from where. This wire basket, I think it was left out of a previous Huntsville haul, but it was a couple of dollars, and I love it. All right, 2 of these carafes. Let's see. This one actually still has the tag on it. And here's what I intend, $1.98 each. Here's what I intend to do with these. Let's see. I saw Simply Lake and Lace. Oh, what is that precious girl's name? Whatever her name is, Holly. I saw her. She does a lot of essential oils and diffusing. And I saw her with a glass, you know, actually hers might have been like a whiskey decanter that looked kind of like the cut glass fancier kind. but she had water beside her diffuser, and I thought that is the most intelligent thing I have ever seen, because you know, it just takes a little bit of water for your diffuser, but if you're having to bring water to your diffuser every time, it feels like it's a little more trouble than you wish it was, because you know, first world problems. So, and by the way, I am in complete control of my emotions. I'm not crying, but something in the North Alabama atmosphere is causing my eyes to water. But you know what? I love it out here so much that it's worth it. I'll just count the cost and let it be anyway. So here's those two. Now I've got to decide what I'm going to do with these things. I'm out here on my concrete patio. The 98 cents for a little turkey. You know what I really want? I want a good sized turkey. You know, it could be resin, it could be ceramic, I don't know, but I want one that's like at least as big as a basketball. I've been looking for one, and I saw one that I nearly got at Hobby Lobby last fall because it had something like cracked on it that I knew I would have repaired and it would have been fine. And I just, you know, kind of hemmed and hawed and just never did get it. But I'm still on the lookout for a big turkey because I want to put him right in the middle of my dining room table. So that was good for the fall. All right. This was $2.98, and it is a vintage vintage Tupperware cheese grater that the cheese would go down in the container. And I don't know how vintage this is. I don't know, maybe they still sell it. I don't know, but I liked the looks of it, and I think it is cute. And I have not tried it yet. It needs to run through the dishwasher. Are you supposed to put Tupperware through the dishwasher? Because I do. I put it on the top rack though, and I do a gentle cycle. But I feel like it sterilizes it. You know, I'm not really picky about germs, about things from the thrift store, but if it's something that's going to be used in the kitchen for food storage and cooking and eating, I feel like it needs a little sterilization. All right, and look at this, $1.49. I doubt that it's actual ironstone, but it sure does look. It's probably just ceramic. It's unmarked. I don't know if it's ironstone or not, but it has that look, and I think it's pretty. And you might have already noticed that in my china cabinet right now, with all my blue and white transferware, blue willow and the Asiatic pheasant and lots of other beautiful old Britain castles and stuff like that, I've got my white ironstone pictures collection in there with it, and I have sunflowers. And I decided, you know, last fall I did a big specific fall china cabinet. I love to change out my china in the china cabinet. It's a huge china cabinet, and I love to change it out for the seasons. And last fall I did green with my Whitehall amber glasses. It was gorgeous. But this fall we've had a new grandbaby, and we've been a little busier than normal. So I just decided during August, the month of sunflowers, for me I've named it my Sunflowers month, because July is always my 4th of July patriotic, and then when the flags and the patriotic red, white, and blue stuff come down, it's perfect to add sunflowers in all those spots where I did have American flags, and it looks especially gorgeous with my blue willow and the blue transferware. Wow, I am living a dangerous life just sitting that straight on the concrete. I don't know if this is an apple or a pumpkin, but I'm calling it a pumpkin because it's a nice rusty color, 79 cents. It has a place for a candle, and I have those beeswax candles that have the little bees on them. I think that'll be absolutely sweet sitting, and I think it could be an apple. I don't know if it's an apple or pumpkin. It could go either way, but it will look like a pumpkin if it's grouped with a lot of other fall things and pumpkins. So now this little thing for $1.99, this is hand painted, and the reason I believe it's truly hand painted by somebody local, it says Stacy on here, that is the sweetest little fat bird for $1.99. And sometimes I keep the tags on the back just because I like to go back and see what a deal I got, or, you know, it's just fun to me to remember what I paid for something. There were several of these little ones of all different kinds of subjects, but I love birds, and I loved the blue, which is kind of a turquoise blue, and I'm not sure if I will find a place for this until spring or go ahead and use it now. I don't know, but that's just precious. That's so cute. And it's really a thick frame in there. I mean, that's substantial. It will easily sit grouped with my other things. I just realized that through our side yard, there's a full view of what I'm doing to anyone who passes by, anyone going down the street, anyone in the parking lot. We have a huge rec center across the street. But you know what? Maybe they'll just be curious. They'll just have to be curious. All right, I have 3 burlap rolls here. This one was $1, and these, I thought it said $1 on this, but one of these says 3, so I don't know what I paid for them. But they're nice, good fall colors, and of course that's color to use at any time, all the time, anytime. All right, this was $2.49, and I love the rustic wood frame of it. It says, happy, kind, humble, but you know, be happy, be kind, be humble. And I think that is ever so sweet. Primitives by Kathy. Can't tell where else that comes from. But because I've got some bee things with my sunflowers, I think that's very sweet. Although my sunflowers are transitioning over into fall now. I'm adding fall stems and fall leaf garlands to the things that were just sunflowers with just a few pumpkins in, you know, mixed in. All right. This for $1.98. Look, you know what this is? I've never had one, and I think this is the coolest. It is an extension cord that you would use probably for your Christmas tree, that you could, you just step on it to turn it on and off. Very cute. And this particular thrift store always tests their electronics, and so I feel confident that it works. But here's my philosophy about that kind of thing. If it's a thrift store that benefits ministry, if I get something home and it just doesn't work, or I just don't like it, or whatever, you know, I didn't spend very much, and whatever I spent at that store benefits the ministry and the outreach of that thrift shop, that ministry that the thrift shop is there for. So, you know, it's okay to me to take a little risk. And honestly, I can hardly think of a time that I brought something home and it didn't work. $3.98, but the code C happened to be half price this day, so $2 for these very vintage, very precious. Look how old. See the stains and the crazes and the chips. To me, the chip with the stain around it, that just proves to me that this was from another generation, and it's precious, and I love the green for fall. I have not yet decided where this needs to be, but it needs to be somewhere lovely. I don't even know yet what I'm doing with it. Okay, I did pay $1.99 because never have I ever seen such a cute, fat wooden spoon. It looks like a mitten. Look at this little notch here. What is that? If you know what this is for, please tell me in the comments, because I have no idea. I just have a habit of looking through the utensils at a thrift store because I'm always looking for vintage utensils and unique wood utensils. I have them gathered together in one of my crocks in the kitchen, and I think that that is something I have never seen before. Oh, I believe there's a little bit of, is that food? Somebody's leftover food? Probably. It chipped right off. Looked like a piece of grated cheese. Well, you can see I'm not very thrown off by that kind of thing, because if I use it for more than just decor, I'm going to run it through the dishwasher, or if it can't be run through the dishwasher, I'm going to actually soak it in some kind of Clorox mixture or something. Oh, see this. Flashcards that have not just the picture but the words on it. It says ages 2 and up. These are going to be good for my twin grandsons who are, they're getting closer to 4 now, but they're pretty much already at a kindergarten or even first grade level with their letters, numbers, words, and reading. They can spell things, all their magnetic letters. They spell words, they say words, they recognize things. Dean the other day looked over Lauren's shoulder and said, "Good home cooking," and it was a video she was watching, and that was what was on the glass front. I see somebody across the street playing disc golf. They've got a disc golf course over there, and that's new, so I'm not used to seeing people doing that, and that caught my eye. We have lived here since 1999, and the rec center that was across the street was very modest, humble, outdated, in great need of an update. And when they finally updated a couple years ago, boy, did they update. We now have one of the finest rec centers in the whole state. They designed it so that ball tournaments and even like swimming competitions, state swimming competitions, and all kinds of things can be held here, because it is a fantastic, close to $100 million facility that is actually it just appeared before our eyes, and we've been here all this time. So that's been very interesting for us to watch. Okay, in the Amazon thrift store warehouse, they have a whole separate building behind the main shop, and that's where you go when you want to find some really good, they have all their furniture back there, plus things like an enormous bin of pillows. And the pillows are always 98 cents each, and I think that's really good for summer, especially because, you know, this past summer I had a beach scene with some glass and some sand in some little skinny bottles and things like that. And this, I'm gonna have to wash it, sanitize it, whatever, but it's so cute. This is the exact, I know it's probably meant to be lumbar, but my husband's lumbar happens to be right there behind his neck, because that's where he uses every lumbar pillow I ever get, is right behind his neck in his recliner, which, you know, decor goals are one thing, but livability also matters. And we have a lazy boy recliner that is like, you know, what is that fabric? Kind of velour-ish, but it's good. It's navy blue, which we happened to find at a thrift store for $50. Practically brand new. I mean, honestly, not a single thing wrong with it. Perfect mechanism, perfectly clean, no stains, no funky smells, nothing. So because he wants to be comfortable, I like to compromise a little bit, and you know, it's pretty easy to throw a pretty blanket over the whole top end of that if you don't want it to just stand out that it's a recliner. Also, the debate about TV above the fireplace. We have that. One of the reasons we have that is because my house is small as far as the living area. It's a 5-bedroom house, and I think we've got something like 2,400 square feet, but it's chopped up into 2 levels, and it's the living area and the kitchen area is very small for a 5-bedroom house. I'm not sure what the designer of this house was thinking. I have always said it was a man who never cooked a meal in his life nor had to do any laundry, because the laundry situation when we moved in was in a little small closet, and we have enlarged that and made it look a lot better, and actually it's kind of like my dream laundry room. Okay, these fell out of a bag that was also in the Amazon Hope warehouse. Stuff a bag, and the bag that they would have let you stuff was 4 times this big, but I only found a few things for $2 that I really wanted, and I'll just pull out the things. A book. It's an old book, Faith for These Troubled Times. I think that's sweet. The things that I really thought were good. Now these are brand new for $1. That's a grandbaby activity all over it. Okay, and some little vintage blocks. Precious, so cute, love it. An old Rubik's Cube, because Sam has a collection of Rubik's Cube. This looks like one of the original, like from the 1980s. That looks very old. Still perfectly, well, I don't know about perfectly. It still does twist. It still does do that. But Sam has, up on the shelf in his room, he has all kinds of shapes and varieties of Rubik's Cubes, so that's for him. And a kind of vintage plastic horse. I'm not sure how vintage, but it's older. And I love this so much. I'm going to have to see, some child has written on it with a Sharpie, Alabama, parentheses, Boaz, and they've drawn a little arrow. You can barely distinguish the state of Alabama on this tiny globe, much less North Alabama or the city of Boaz. But some kid has written on it. From this side, you can hardly see what they've written on, but it was a bank. Has the slot in the top, needs a stopper in the bottom if I were to use it for that. But I just think, what does it say? As you save, so you prosper. World Bank, the Ohio Art Company. Yeah, there's some kind of allergy happening with me. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be brave enough to try to take a Q-tip with maybe some nail polish remover or alcohol. I don't know. I'm afraid it'll take the actual map off this globe, so I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that. The rest of the things in this little grab bag are Hot Wheels that some look like they are from 70s, 80s. Now obviously Mario is not, but the older ones, I just couldn't leave them behind. You know, if they're going in a bag for $2 and everything together is $2, why not? Said every hoarder who ever. There is a fine line between a collector and a hoarder, and I probably twice or 3 times daily I say to myself, I can't cross the line. I have to be selective about what I bring into my home, what I send out of my home, what I keep, what I display. But you know that I've been saying it, and it's very true in my opinion. I'm beginning to look a lot like a Cracker Barrel restaurant in my home because I love antiques, and when I find them, I love to display them because I love to look at them and I think they're interesting. So I am a maximalist who has tried, I'm really trying to be not just a junk collector and a junky pile-up hoarder, but someone who curates and edits and gathers things together in happy groups. That's what I like to say. Happy groups. Now what in the world? $2.98, and it was the code C, so I paid half of that. $1.50, and it is like that home interiors type of plastic, I do believe, and it probably was gold or another color to begin with. I don't know, maybe it wasn't, because that's kind of a really good aged green color. It's gonna be somewhere in my home. I'm really gonna put it on the wall somewhere above a shelf or in a little spot above a doorway. I mean, who knows where you're gonna see this, but I'll put it somewhere, and I'm very happy about it. I love it. Excuse me for scooting and bending. Look at him. He's so cute. I did pay $6.99. He's solid wood. He has a distressed look about him. I think he's adorable. I think his little eyes and his little beak. Look, why does he have a hollow? Maybe to reduce how heavy he is? Because I can't imagine that you would put anything in there or do anything. But look, he's so cute. I have another wood owl that I got back in the spring when I was going with Olivia when she was doing her clinicals at Erlanger. I did thrifting. I went up there with her like 3 separate times and went thrifting the whole time she was doing her clinicals in the hospital. And I found one that's called ironwood. It's made of ironwood, and it is the heaviest thing. It's probably heavier than this one, but it's only half as big. I didn't know there was such a thing. I looked it up and was very surprised to see. Okay. Now, this ended up being about $1.50, I think. I think it might have had a code C on it. I don't even see the tag anymore. But I realize these are rather springish flowers, but they're just stuck in there. They're not even hot glued. So I'm going to ask which of my daughters need a fresh fall wreath. You know, I made a wreath for my mother-in-law, and she is loving it, and I made it colors that she loves. Let's see, now that I'm standing, maybe I could, okay, there's going to be a lot of standing and pulling in and pulling out because this is a spread out situation here. But I'm going to reach over, bring this lovely, this came from the Amazon Hope Warehouse. Do you see that it has the little caster feet on the front too? And look at those gorgeous legs. Have you ever seen more beautiful legs? Now obviously you can see the nail holes. This had an upholstered oval piece here, but I'm not sure if I'll put that back or not. Just guess what I paid for this lovely chair. $7.98. Now I need another chair like I need, you know, I don't need another chair, but this one is so special and beautiful to me. Look at the carving. I will send probably 2 other chairs forward in exchange for this one, because I'm a little crowded around the dining room table right now. I have a matching set of 8 chairs that came with the dining room table, but there's so many of us that we often crowd even more chairs around the dining room table when we have a big family meal. So right now I've got a couple of extra chairs up there, and I'm going to trade something out to have this one. Now I'll have to, if I want it, it's not super sturdy, but it would be fine for a child to sit in. It's a little wonky, so I'm not sure what kind of seat I'm going to put on it or what kind of upholstery, but it was very much worth having to me because I love that so much. And I realized that there's all kinds of other things you can do with a chair like this. I mean, I've got a couple that I got off the side of the road, literally. I've got 2 or 3 side of the road things back here right now. I've got a couple that I got off the side of the road that they don't have the seats in them anymore. They were some kind of rope cane woven kind of thing, and they're old chairs. But I probably will put some of these ferns in the seats of those, or in the holes. And this one, I'm thinking this one would be lovely to have a board put, you know, across it, in it somehow, and use it as a table, a side table, because that would be a nice sized surface to put, you know, any kind of things. It could be beside a couch, it could be in a corner somewhere. You know, it's, you know, the older and more interesting something is, the more creatively I think, so that I can include it in my world some kind of way. Now let me put this back out of the way. And this will be a good time to include. Okay, first let's just look at this old bowl. Let's just marvel at the loveliness. The sun's coming down at a pretty sharp angle here. I think as the day goes on, I'm getting even more direct sunlight than I expected, because now it's kind of ricocheting off my corneas here. But this bowl is so stained and so chipped, and it was only $1.99 at the Goodwill in Boaz, and I think it is precious. I will not use it for real. It will stack up with my other very old bowls. The rest of this is one of the prettiest sets of old china, and it is random pieces, and there's only 3 small plates that are probably just small dinner plates. But this crazed set, all the pieces, I think I quickly added up in my head that it was less than $20 to get all the pieces that I was able to find of this set. But that is my favorite 1940s looking stuff. That's my favorite decade of vintage looking china, because the flowers are usually very intricate, very detailed, lots of lovely. Okay, there's the platter, the oval serving dish, a variety of bowls, 3 small bowls, 5 normal size bowls. I don't know what you'd call this bowl. They're anywhere from $1.99 a piece to the platter was $3.99, so they're all in between there. I don't know. This is just, it says Johnson Brothers England. Parik. And every one of these are crazed, stained, cracked. Somebody has had these a very long time and put them through a lot of service, a lot of use. And I do believe I might be sneaking these in with my blue transferware in the china cabinet, since I'm not going to do a whole china cabinet reset for fall. These are gorgeous fall colors. It's got the rich gold in there. It's not metallic gold, it's painted gold with all sorts of shades of deep blues and some deep purple and the green and the oranges. The rust orange color in there is noticeable enough that I think these would look lovely as fall accents. Now I'm going to carefully put this back over in one of my chairs. Oh, you too. It's time for the Happy Doggy Spotlight. Oh, this is the greatest fun to look at everyone's sweet doggies. Meet Lacey, who is a Chippin, Chihuahua, and Mini Pinscher mix. She belongs to Cindy of Florida, and that is the sweetest little thing. Look at there. Send your doggy pics to this email address, and I will put your doggy in the Happy Doggy Spotlight.